Hey there, focused learners, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Let's just jump right in. If you manage property, run a business, or oversee any kind of facility in the bustling Phoenix Metro Valley, you already know your day-to-day reality can feel, well, pretty chaotic. You're constantly juggling logistics, managing people, and trying to protect your bottom line in this rapidly growing, high-energy environment. And hovering over all of that daily stress is the constant, nagging concern of security. Honestly, the thought of property damage, theft, or liability issues is enough to keep literally anyone up at night. But what I found really fascinating in the source material today is how one specialized local provider, Covey Security, is stepping in to completely transform that chaotic reality, taking you from a state of vulnerability into absolute peace of mind.
Okay, let's dive into this. What is the true cost of a one-size-fits-all security plan? We usually just think about security in terms of an hourly rate for a guard standing by a door, right? But when you try to apply a generic copy and paste security menu to a really unique, complex business environment, the true cost isn't just that invoice you pay. It's the incidents that inevitably slip through the cracks. It's the massive damage to your reputation. It's the huge liability risks you take on when a guard just doesn't know the specific nuances of your property. Generic asset protection doesn't save you money. It actually exposes you to incredibly expensive risks.
In fact, the source material states this so clearly, and it's absolutely crucial to remember. A one-size-fits-all security plan is a vulnerability. That's a powerful statement, isn't it? At its core, buying security is an emotional purchase. You aren't just paying for someone in a uniform, you are fundamentally buying confidence. If your security plan is just some generic template, it's basically a massive blind spot. It leaves you feeling anxious because, deep down, you know your specific, unique risks haven't really been addressed.
So how exactly do we flip that script? Well, that brings us to part 1, finding peace of mind, the ultimate benefit of true security.
Covey Security actually reverses that anxiety of vulnerability by acting as a proactive partner in your safety, meaning you can focus entirely on what matters most, running your actual business. It's all about shifting from worrying about what might happen to knowing for sure that a dedicated team is on watch 24/7. And they've been doing exactly that since 2009. You know, in the security industry, fly-by-night operations are, unfortunately, super common. Surviving and thriving since 2009 proves some serious long-term dedication to the local community and a proven track record of consistently delivering that peace of mind.
Now, there's a huge contrast between two totally different security mindsets here. First, you have your basic response. This is your typical run-of-the-mill reactive guard service. They wait for something bad to happen and then they react. That is inherently stressful because by the time they respond, the damage is already done. But then we have Covey's approach. Proactive threat assessment and prevention. They use assertive, active patrols to send a very clear deterrent message. They specialize in stopping threats before they even happen. It's literally the difference between cleaning up a huge mess and preventing the spill in the very first place.
Of course, to execute that kind of proactive approach, you need a rock-solid foundation. Let's move into Section 2, the 3C commitment, the philosophy behind the protection. Covey's entire operation is built on 3 core principles, and I absolutely love a good rule of 3 because it just makes complex ideas so easy to digest. The first C is competence. Look, anyone can put on a uniform, but Covey's guards undergo rigorous, continuous education. They are highly trained in proactive threat assessment, advanced de-escalation techniques, and liability reduction. They aren't just warm bodies filling a shift. They are true security experts who actively manage situations to protect your bottom line from lawsuits and losses. The second C is communication. Honestly, one of the biggest complaints in the property management world is hiring a vendor and then having them completely ghost you. But with Covey, you are never left in the dark. They provide incredibly clear, actionable intelligence. We're talking detailed digital reports, real-time updates for critical incidents, and a dedicated point of contact. This level of communication means their security team acts as a seamless extension of your own operations. You always have the exact intel you need to make informed decisions. Then we have the third C, which is client-centric service. And this brilliantly illustrates a really vital point. Security isn't just about intimidation. It's heavily about customer service. These officers are so often the very first point of contact for your staff, your residents, or your customers. Covey ensures their guards are courteous, attentive, and fully licensed representatives. They serve as genuinely positive ambassadors for your property. Superior protection and professional service actually work hand in hand to enhance a property's reputation rather than just guarding its perimeter.
So, how does all this philosophy translate into action? That brings us to Section 3, Comprehensive Security Services, Custom Integration over Generic Menus.
Having a massive list of services is only valuable when it's expertly integrated into a custom strategy. When you consider their physical, on-the-ground deterrence under personnel, things like armed guards, uniformed guards, mobile patrols, and executive protection, you absolutely have to pair it with their high-level strategy. That's where the magic really happens. By combining those boots-on-the-ground personnel with risk management, security consulting, video surveillance, and firewatch, Covey perfectly balances that physical presence with deep analytical planning. It creates a truly comprehensive shield around your assets.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, Industry-Specific Strategies, Integrated Solutions for Unique Environments.
You know as well as I do that every single industry has completely unique operational demands, totally different foot traffic patterns, and entirely different legal regulations. That is exactly why Covey's process always begins with a deep dive into your specific environment before a single guard is ever deployed. Just think about the sheer variety of specialized industries they cover. We've got healthcare, data centers, retail, construction sites, government facilities, cannabis dispensaries, schools, and corporate offices. The security approach for a quiet residential HOA has to be vastly different from the high-threat environment of an overnight industrial warehouse or the ultra-strict compliance required at a cannabis dispensary. They take all their personnel and strategic tools and map them flawlessly to the exact environment they're protecting.
And the best part? They do all of this right here in the desert. Let's look at Section 5, Protecting the Phoenix Valley, Local Expertise and Fast Response.
It is just so important to emphasize that Covey Security is not some faceless, bloated national corporation dispatching guards from 3 time zones away. Think about their massive footprint across the state: Phoenix, Scottsdale, Mesa, Tucson, Flagstaff, Yuma, Peoria, Chandler, and Gilbert. So the crucial point is this: no matter where your property is located in the valley or even stretching into the wider state, you are getting specialized local experts who actually understand the layout, the climate, and the unique pressures of the area. That local knowledge guarantees a fast, decisive, and incredibly effective response when seconds literally matter.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to chew on today. Are you ready to find safety in the Covey? We've seen how a customized, proactive, and locally managed security strategy completely transforms vulnerability into unshakable confidence. So, if you are tired of those generic security menus and you're ready to finally stop worrying and secure your 24/7 peace of mind, well, it might just be time to rethink how you protect your most valuable assets. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Focused learners, keep asking the right questions and I'll catch you in the next one.